You grandpa me.
All right, Grandpa. Man's out here.
I mean, I will chop you.
What? Like you, Nick? You gonna give me the feed? You gonna give me the feed tomorrow chop? Boop.
That time I hop mollywop, yeah.
I'm gonna laugh if that actually becomes a thing.
Few Morrow chop.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, I can hear it now.
Quarter.
Yeah, quarter.
Your monthly check.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Like,
Talk to me about
we
it.
have to.
It started off with how one of the teams deals with players and their NILs, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's like this is an iconic take, but people love to see what he has to say or don't like to say, and then they love to critique it. Going back to it's all entertainment.
So a lot of these takes don't age well. And I just want to say this is yes or no. Game changer, game manager take that you had. Did it
I'm
age well?
standing on that 10 toes down with my heels planted on this God green earth. There's only 4 that's in the game of football right now. And we'll say this.
Who are the 4?
There's only 4. That is it. Like Joe Burrow. Oh, hello. He didn't.
Like pros.
People here
like,
but they don't know how to act with it. But forever to keeping y'all alive. So tell the people, if you do what, you get dark.
We get far for you miss more than 2 absences in your class, you got class checkers. If you don't have your jug or your tablet for like
that's
filming
that's
everything,
$50.
$50.
Yeah, every time a coach see you without it, though.
You don't make weight. You gotta lose 2 pounds or gain 2 pounds.
Oh, this is the league.
Yeah, but you weigh in 3 times. So like on Monday, it's kind of like more lenient.
Yeah.
Wednesday, you kind of don't want to be there and then. On Friday, if you're not there,
yeah, Friday, if you ain't
quarter.
there, you
Quarter.
Yeah, quarter.
Your monthly check.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Like,
Talk to me about
we have to stop acting as if these athletes aren't professional athletes.
Yeah. These professionals.
They're no longer amateurs.
They're getting real money.
They're getting real salaries now,
Yeah.
baby. Anything
Real.
upwards of 6 figures is real salaries.
Yeah, facts.
And even at abundant six figures.
It's a real salary.
Those are
Somebody.
real salaries, bro.
Yeah.
And I love that they're holding these players accountable because you can't, when I was playing in college, the programs were led off of fear. Fear of early morning workouts, fear of punishment workouts, fear of just not playing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, what you gonna tell a kid when the coach is making $300,000, $400,000, $1 million, somebody else making just as much, if not more? That's the remedy of the league. I'm not about to go back and forth with you, dude. I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm gonna go and hit you where it hurt most.
Did you?
say what you want about Cam. Like I say, he
Go in the
funny.
pockets. Because they used to punish you with your body.
Yeah.
Had to do boards and have to do like
Burpees.
5'8", like
Roll
man,
the
no, we ain't
field.
going back and forth with you.
Yeah, I ain't.
I'm gonna hit that coin. See, while you all on Instagram flexing, and they treat it like what they call it, the collective or something like that.
Yeah.
Before you even see your check, they gonna get paid first.
I got
so
mine.
then hold on. He got docked for a quarter for missing weight. He didn't have his water jug. He didn't have his tablet. Not only that, he snapped on the coach.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
They want to know them words to end it. Don't worry about it. When somebody say that, you know, it's a middle.
It's just a disappointment. It's just like, bro, I don't gotta argue with you, young man.
Yeah, that's fine. You don't act right.
They got a thing called dock and pay, and they also got a thing called the transfer portal. And you can hit it because somebody gonna hit it, and we gonna go in there and dabble in that talent.
Do you think this right here will prepare these athletes better for the NFL, though?
No. This right here will prepare these athletes for life.
Yeah.
Because I tell you like this, Becky, you ain't show up today. All right, cool. If I didn't show up today, all right, cool. You didn't want to show up on time? Bet. You're going to start seeing it in the numbers. You're affecting your bank account either way, directly or indirectly. And that's what these kids are under the obliviousness of, like, bro, you can't just transfer jobs
No, you can't do that.
You can't do that,
You
bro.
gotta get a new one, but you gotta start from scratch somewhere. And then the thing is, you can't get this type of money and don't think something new is coming with it.
And the accountability that
the
comes
responsibility and accountability.
Come on, bro.
Because now, hey,
just like we were saying, bro.
Hey, I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna say it quickly. Regardless of how you feel about Cam Newton, regardless of what you think about the way the man dresses, how his hair is kept, this whole nine, I ain't gonna lie. Cam, fire Jeff Gordon jacket. I got the same one, just mine is from 2002, not 2004. I know that's a minimum of 2004 jacket because it says Nextel, not Winston up there on the right side. And honestly, it was the 20-year anniversary. So yeah, I think it was 2004. But that's my nerddom coming out. I know my Jeff Gordon stuff. I know my stuff. I know my stuff, boy. But I say all that to say Cam ain't wrong. And to be honest, that's the way coaches are going to have to hold these kids accountable. Because, like you said, you have kids now making $100,000, $200,000, $300,000, $250,000, $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, $4 million. And if they ain't acting right, if they ain't doing what they supposed to do, they like, oh, I got my money. I don't care. Bro, I'm getting paid regardless. What I look like, my check doesn't hit. You know what? Bet, bro. You getting fined for every time you mess up.
Yes.
Because it's kind of like even regular punishments, bro. When we were growing up, getting a spanking was the worst thing ever. Getting a spanking was the worst thing ever. Blase, blase. As you got older, what hurt worse? You can't go to the movies with your friend. You ain't got your phone. You ain't got your laptop. You can't text nobody. Take your game system. Take all this, that, and the third, bro. Like mom and dad just said, bump hitting you. Bump the physical body. I'm going to hit you where it hurt. I'm going to hit you where you care about. You can't watch the football game. You can't watch the basketball game. You can't watch the NASCAR race. You can't watch X, Y, and Z. You go into bed back at like 9:30. You ain't allowed to stay up the way you used to. Like, and don't try to sneak it. Then you're really gonna get got.
Oh, then it's really gonna get taken from you.
So Cam, is it wrong that a lot of coaches now are just gonna be like, all right, yo, we implementing fines, and that's one way to keep the student athlete in check in the NIL era, because nobody's opposed to the students getting paid, at least not on this podcast right now. But we're also like, you have to hold the kids accountable for this money, because we all know you give an 18-year-old, a 19-year-old that amount of money off rip, bro, they bound to do some stupid stuff. They bound to blow it on some stupid stuff. They bound to start acting crazy. Shoot, I knew how I acted when I got $200 for my birthday, rather than the usual 50 or 100.
I know how I act now with an extra $45 in my pocket.
I'm saying, and then like Cam also said, it is a lesson for life, bro. Because if you do that at your job, they're gonna dock your pay. They're gonna dock your pay once or twice, and then, like he said, they're gonna hit that transfer portal. Guess what your job gonna do? Fire you.
They're gonna get somebody.
They're gonna get somebody else.
Talent. And like, and like I said, we've talked about, and we've said this before, especially when it came down, like we said before, honoring your contracts. Because if you sign a contract, especially even in the NFL, sure, you can go and act a fool all you want, but the whole time they're gonna fine you. You're gonna lose money out on this. Now, there's some of them that make enough money that a couple $100,000 ain't gonna hurt them, but at the end of the day, that's still a couple $100,000 you could have kept in your pocket.
Right.
And we've had a couple of people who didn't exactly agree with that point or that statement. And we're gonna
get into it next week. We can get into
it. I'm not about to go run around in circles about it, nothing like that. All I'm gonna say is, at the end of the day, honoring your contract is one thing, because at the end of the day, when it comes down to this here, sure, you can hit the transfer portal all you want, but at the end of the day, you may not get the same deal somewhere else that you got where you were.
Nope.
Especially if you're transferring out with one half decent year under your belt. you don't have a whole lot of talking power either. And I'm not saying that it's a bad thing to go and want to get more money. We've never said that. But what the problem is when that money hunt ends up hurting your pockets more than you just putting up good numbers to get yourself some leverage.
Because at the end of the day, when you're doing that money hunt, it's the same thing as a job hunt. If it's one thing, and we've all been here, it's one thing if you had a job and then you had to leave a job because of actual life events and circumstances. Right. So when you go, hey, I had to look for this new job because this happened, or I had to leave this job because this happened, X, Y, and Z. But when you're the individual who works at a job for 2 months, I'll say 3 months. You work at a job for 3 months, you're getting paid $13 an hour there. You leave there to go get the job that pays $15 an hour, but you leave there because you think you can find something better. That third job might look at you and be like, why you had a 13 and a 15, but you left both of those in 3 months, bro? What's going on there? So they might look at you skeptic, and they'll be like,
there'll be some time to look at it. Okay, if we bring you in, are you going to be here longer than 3 months?
Are you going to be a little longer than 3 months? And if so, it's like, to make sure we don't lose an investment, we might want to pay you the same or probably $1 less in between. We ain't going to pay you as cheap as the first people, but we don't feel like matching what your last job did. Then you get mad because you're not getting paid what you did the previous job. So then you're like, somebody else to do it. So you leave there. So now you done had a job at $13, $15, and $14. And you think this fourth job is going to give you $20? And you don't have the work to show that you're worth $20?
What's going on, Jackson?
Hey, what's up, Jackson? What's up, Jackson? But
appreciate you being here.
But Cam didn't speak anything wrong.
No, I don't think it's no. Cam ain't saying nothing wrong. And the other thing that you can say about Cam, like, sure, you may, like I said, a lot of people may not agree with him, but he's at least gonna keep it 100. He's gonna keep it a buck with you.
And I'll respect this about Cam. He gonna stand on what he said.
That's it.
If he said something, he will go out to you and say, just like Peggy asked him, the game changer, game manager comment. Cam flat out doubled down. I stand on what I said. He said,
that's it.
I stand on it, and you ain't got to agree with it, but I respect it.
And he'll back out if he's wrong. And if he's proven that he's wrong, he'll be like, listen, I got it wrong.
Hey, tell your friends and your family and the cashiers at Kroger. Hey, listen, shout out to Kroger about the magic that Myron and Joel bring on Tar Heels Live Tuesday nights right here on North Carolina at the Voice of College Football. Y'all listen to Jackson because he know what he's talking about. Listen to the man because he know what he's talking about. The man knows. But guys, it is that time of the week because it is almost the end of the episode and we've been going way over than we usually do.